Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to No Judgment Here with Tish Ross, the podcast. Thank you for joining me. I hope that you would hit the like, comment if you have questions or comments, and subscribe. The other most important thing that I ask every single podcast show that we are airing is that you, if you have the platform, be it Facebook, be it your own YouTube channel platform, any form of social media that you please share this podcast out. This is not about me. It's not about me, as I always say. This is about you and someone else on the other side of this podcast that needs to hear my guest story so that they know that they're not alone. And that's what God has called me to do, is to bring as many people as I can in so that they will know the journey that they are on, that they're not by themselves. I'm so excited for you guys to meet my guests tonight. I am actually super excited that you and I together are going to hear Roxy's story for the first time. And I know Roxy through a mutual friend of ours, Elena Rodriguez. She actually is the founder of Prospera TV Network, and that is where you can find our podcasts. And those podcasts also stream through Roku TV, 17 other countries we are able to share these stories with. You never know across the world who needs to hear that. So I thank you. Don't forget to comment any questions that you may have, and I promise I will get to them as soon as I can. But without further ado, we're going to bring my guest in. I want you to meet Roxy.
Hello.
Good evening, Roxy. Boy, you look beautiful.
Oh, thank you.
So glad that you are here this evening. And I was sharing that you and I met through a mutual friend,
Mm,
and the connections are all over the world. If we allow
mhm,
ourselves to get out there and sort of mingle and socialize, we can be connected
mm,
across the world. And
okay.
so the title of this particular podcast is Meet Roxy, Embracing Disability and God's Purpose.
Mm.
And you have a story to share, one that I
Mhm,
don't know anything about. So we're going to get started. I'm so excited. I so am. Roxy, I want you to tell us a little bit about yourself, where
mhm,
you are living, what you do for a
mhm,
living.
mhm,
Are you married? Do you have children? Those kind of things.
mhm. So I'm not married. I have a partner. And I live in Massachusetts, and what do I do for a living? I do a bunch of things. But how I make my bread and butter is I'm a wellness practitioner, and I'm a licensed massage therapist, and I got that license through an agency called Vocational Rehabilitation. Sometimes it's called Mass Rehabilitation or Arizona Rehabilitation, but it's a vocational program. God bless. We don't know what's going to happen to these programs in the near future, but
Mm.
because of those programs, you can go to school, you can get your driver's license. They help people with disabilities. Sometimes it's the type of place that you can get the services if you don't really qualify for Social Security disability. So I never really qualified for Social Security disability, but this is a program that you can apply for low income, or they look at everything, and based on your disability they'll help you with resources and support and services. So they've helped me with a lot of things.
So is that, and I have, like I had kind of shared off camera, I have a lot of questions
Yeah,
regarding
please.
that, because is that worldwide? I mean, I live in Texas,
Nationwide.
nationwide. So
every
they
every
home deliver.
state has a vocational rehab program, and those vocational rehab programs will help people go to trade schools, go get certifications, get degrees. They'll help you with driver's license, they'll help you get adaptive equipment. You can even get, like, you know, you might be able to get, they'll even help you sometimes with home services. So if you need help with cooking or laundry or housekeeping, they have home services, they have home rehab, they have assistive technology. There's a lot of programs within vocational rehabilitation. I don't know where the funding is now, but there's a lot of programs within vocational rehabilitation that's available to people with disabilities, as long as they have some documentation that they have those disabilities. I've been in and out of Oak Rehab since I was 16 years old.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys, I'm not trying to give Roxy's age, but So I had mentioned you have children, and I swear I thought Roxy was, honestly, to be completely 100% honest, I swear I thought late 20s, early 30s. Yes, childbearing age.
Yeah,
You
no,
look so
I
amazing.
literally am 52 years old.
52. What's the secret? What's your secret? We need that. We need
I
to
don't know
bottle it
because
up and
my
sell it.
body hurts. I don't know
Oh,
what the secret is. Must be good skin and good genes from my family. I think it's the
that makes
Jewish. I
sense.
think it's Jewish skin because my mom died and her skin was like perfect. She looked like a porcelain doll.
Oh, how
Like when
lovely.
she was like a peaceful, and she was an angry woman, but she
Mm,
looked like a peaceful porcelain doll at her death. Because all that I
wow.
wanted my beautiful mom to do was die in dignity because she didn't have a good life.
So well, I want to ask you about
Oh
that. I
yeah,
want to
ask
ask
about that
you,
childhood. Ugh.
yes, tell me about your childhood. What kind of
Ugh.
kiddo were you? What kind of parents you had?
Ah,
And
ah, ah, ah.
how
Oh,
you
not good.
came, or your family came about knowing what your disability is, and
Mm-mm.
what are your disabilities? So all those
70,
questions.
I was born in the 70s, so talking about disability in the 70s was kind of hush hush. What do we
Mm,
do? What do we talk about? How do we deal with this? So I didn't have
mm,
very good parents. I had an emotionally drained, stressed mom who
mm,
was nervous about everything and wanted to helicopter and overprotect me. There was a boy in the house who was my blood brother, and he didn't I don't think he wanted me to be born.
mm,
He was not happy that I was around. Fight. My parents were fighting. We were fighting. All that I remember was fighting and beating each other up. My
mm,
parents and he was beating me up. So, and the childhood was not fun. I was a jovial child. I wanted to be jovial. I wanted to be
mm,
happy go lucky. I wanted to dance, wanted to play, but there was a lot of nervousness in my house and anxiety. We
mm,
moved to Arizona from New York, Jersey in 82,
mm,
83. My mom wanted to be closer to her parents,
mm,
and that's when we had an okay life in Jersey because I remember we would go places and we had friends, and we were always dressing up and going somewhere, and I had cute jumpers, and I had a lot of cute. When we moved to Arizona, we were broke. There
mm,
was no more cute.
mm,
We had no money. They knew that we had no money, and I was born with one leg shorter than the other. So when they didn't discover my leg discrepancy, but they knew something was wrong because I was always falling. But they discovered my leg discrepancy at 3.5, 4, and they put a heel lift on my shoe that was this thick on my right shoe.
mm,
So I had to wear like straddle shoes. I don't know. There were a type of shoe that I had to wear, and I had about two or three of them with the thick heel lift, that thick on my
mm,
shoe. So you waddled a
mhm,
lot. And then they also discovered that I could read really well, but then I couldn't color in the lines and I couldn't cut. So they were like, something's wrong with her brain. Great. So I got diagnosed in the 70s with speech, motor disorders, gross motor, fine motor, dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia. So dyscalculia is math.
mm.
Dyslexia was kind of spelling, reversal of words. Dysgraphia is where you omit words and then you don't make complete sentences. And then there was all sorts of visual, spatial, and motor issues. So there was a lot of labels from
Mm,
like maybe 5.5, 6 years old, all the way through college. I acquired two more disabilities later on in life, but at 11 they reversed the bone in my left leg, my femur bone, and they moved it to a weird angle. I think it was a 90-degree angle to stunt the growth in my left leg to catch up with my right, but it's made my left leg a mess. Bad mess. And then some bad things happened to me because of bad men and bad relationships, and my pelvis got worse. And
my
I had
goodness.
and I also had endometriosis, adenomyosis, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and pelvic floor disorder. The unfortunate thing is, when you have those disorders and you go to the doctors and you're overweight, because I also had some metabolic systems issues. So I was overweight once puberty hit,
Hmm.
and I started just gaining weight up and down, up and down. And they really didn't like listen. So they kept on giving me ablations when I was older. But I had a lot of pro, had a lot of pelvic problems. And a lot of pain in my pelvis and a lot of pain in my left side, and a lot of it was from bad things from men in my my young years, and
Hmm.
the fact that they didn't know how to diagnose me with the all the other disorders,
Hmm.
and they didn't diagnose me with those disorders until I was in my 40s.
So most recently, not too long ago.
Not too long ago.
Oh my
So
goodness.
yeah, so there was a lot, I had to go through most of my life with disabilities, a lot of hidden and physical ones. Oh, and then in 21, on the end of the year, I skidded on ice and I smashed my face. I had a brain injury, broke my nose, broke my orbital bone, and a C2 fracture. I think I broke my jaw, but they didn't document that. And something happened to my lower extremities too, but they didn't document my jaw being broke. But I know I broke my jaw in that accident too. It's been a journey.
Wow. Yes, it has been a journey, and along with my guest are honored that you are sharing it with us. So let me ask you this: how was school when you were growing up? For
So
anybody that
in
has littles that's listening.
early years were okay because New Jersey was kind of diversified and I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I moved to Arizona and like let's just call it hell.
Mm.
So I get beaten up at school, get beat up at home, you're made fun of. Back in the 80s, who's talking about disability? No one. Back in the 80s, like we're not chatting about it. We're not saying, "Oh, those kids are all right. We'll include them." Yeah, right. You're dumb, you're weird. You're stupid. Why are you in our classroom? You don't learn the right way. You're pretty ugly. Oh, you don't wear the right clothes. And then the PE teacher just let them beat on me in the PE class because I couldn't do anything in PE because of my disability. So boom, 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 boom. I'm a bad sport. So I don't know how to play sports and I can't play sports and I can't run and I lost something on them. They're super competitive and they're like, "No, we don't like you. You can't do anything. You're kind of dumb. So let's just beat you up."
Oh my gosh,
They were cruel.
Roxy,
They
that's
were so horrifying.
how
Over
did you
my
deal with
darn
that?
shoe. Over my shoe, and the stupid PE teacher let them do it. Like so my sixth grade teacher, she said, if anybody ever touches her again, we're gonna well, they're gonna you guys are the protector of her in this classroom. And if I find out none of you protect her, you're gonna all go to the principal's office.
Very good. I love
So I
that.
had advocates after I left elementary school, and they watched me. Mm, Junior high was a little bit better because the shoe lift came off. I couldn't still walk very well. And
Mm.
then, because I was vulnerable, kids wanted to be like, hey, let's go and do this. Hey, you're kind of cool. Let's go and do this. But I don't really think they liked me very much. I think they just wanted a buddy to get in trouble with. And I really wasn't like the kid that was getting in trouble. And I got into trouble a lot while I was hanging out with a couple of kids, and I don't even know if they were trying to include me or what. High school was a little bit better. I got involved in the arts,
Mm.
but school was horrible. College wasn't any better. Early 20s were pretty horrible. Like it
Mm.
was never really good. It was a really not I don't think it got good until, and my aspect of spirituality may not have been like the it was practical Christianity, and it was like deepening through a lot of prayer and
Mm.
meditation.
Mhm.
And so in my 30s, I started doing practice. But I would always say that the angels help me and the angels will pick me up. That's what I always said. Angels are picking me up because I would always fall down. I would lose my balance and fall down. I had also very large breasts when I got older. In my 18 to 20s, my mom was stuffing me into bad bras, and and it was comical. It was such a hard life. Tish.
It
It
sounds like it,
was a
Roxy.
horrible, hard life. All the way up until my 30s, until I started trying to practice spirituality.
Mm,
And then I would also say when I moved down here and the jobs were horrifying and the managers yell at you in Massachusetts, because I moved out here in 2011. And when I moved down here in 2011, it was just stressful. I'm in a new town. I'm alone for the first time. But I
okay, you moved there
remember
alone.
I moved there all alone. And but
Okay.
I remember right before I moved here, I played in New York for like a month. I just said, I'm gonna go hang out in New York in the East Coast, Mom. I gotta go. And I didn't live with my parents, but she was still hovering and very overprotective.
Mm.
So in 2010, I just was like, Mom, I gotta go. I'm gonna go. She's calling me in while I'm in New York, and she's like, What are you doing? And I said, What do you mean what I'm doing, Mom? I'm exploring New York by yourself. I said, Sure. I said, I'm learning how to be an adult. I'm having pizza and I'm gonna go and eat good food on in New York, and I'm going shopping. I'm buying a computer today and I need some shoes to walk on the concrete jungle. She's like, "Well, you need to call me and tell me you're safe." And I'm like, "Mom, I'm going to go be an adult. I want to go and learn how to live on my own."
Wow.
So,
So let me ask you this. So you moved to New York all by yourself,
I visited New York and
visited
I
New York.
and I got all this opportunity to like stay there. I even lived in somebody's condo for like I lived in somebody's place for 3 weeks. They left
Wow.
town and they're like, "Here, you want to stay here?" And I'm like, "Sure." He hands me keys and I said, "Mom, I just got an opportunity to live like a New Yorker. Probably have no idea when I'm coming home."
Okay,
So
so you
she,
were talking about spiritual,
mhm.
being meditating, spiritual praying. So when were you introduced to the Lord? Did you go to
Well,
church when you were a kid, or
I
how did all
think
this start?
so because we were a Jewish family, but because I think they were born at that really bad time.
Hmm.
My dad was born in 39, my mom was born in the 40s. And
Hmm.
so there was some kind of off kilter, like you either talked about Judaism and you stayed within Judaism people, or you ran away from it because there was a lot of backlash.
Hmm.
So I didn't really grow up Jewish. I remember lighting the menorah. I remember playing with dreidels. I remember trying to explore it in college, but I never really understood Judaism.
Hmm.
But Christianity came into my life. The hard part is that I'm kind of intuitive and I kind of have some gifts from the Lord. And so if I went to Christianity and I was like, well, why am I reading the Bible and all of a sudden speaking in tongues? Why am I reading the Bible and I'm having visions? Why am I reading the Bible and having all of this and nobody could answer me? And I
Mm.
didn't know what to do. And I had all, and then I could walk into a restaurant and I could walk into a McDonald's or a store and I could hear people's stories. And I was like, God, I can't do this. This is hard. And one of the things that I think God gave me as a gift, and one of the reasons why I think I became a wellness practitioner, is that I can hear their pain. And it's not an easy thing to hear somebody else's pain,
Hmm.
or I could see their pain. I could see the pain that they were in. So when I became a wellness practitioner and I learned techniques and modalities and I could feel their pain, that's a safer place. But I didn't do that until I was in my 40s. But going way, way back, I joined Young Life in high school.
Hmm.
And I used to go to Bible studies all the time with my Bible study leaders with Young Life. Then they would take you out. They were safe. So mom would let me go out with them. So I could go to dinners and I could go to lunches and I could go to their house and I would be allowed, and you could sing the Christian songs.
Hmm.
We would and I went to church, but the churches were hard. The Young Life was really good. I liked Young Life a lot. So I probably got with the Lord in my high school years,
Hmm.
and I think the spirituality continued, and I trusted angels. I trusted angels my whole entire life. But God has always been there. Like, I never could do anything without that. Like,
Right.
that's been like the story. Like, I wouldn't be able to be this resilient without God. There's no way. With all the suffering that has been put upon me in my life, and all the suffering that has been given to me with bad men and bad relationships and domestic violence and sexual assaults and my brother beating me up, my brother doing cruel things, and bosses being mean and people being mean, telling me that I'm the ugliest person on the planet and I don't need to deserve to live. I mean, the things that were said to me over my lifetime, it's just like if I didn't know and trust God, I would have hated myself. And I didn't like myself very much when I was young, but I would have really hated myself because I would just pray all the time. I'm like, God, I don't think that I'm this bad person that this world tells me that I am. I don't think I'm unbeautiful that this world tells me I am. I don't think that I'm uncapable that this world tells me I am. This world tells me I can't be anything. This
Mm,
world craps on me and tells me all the time that I'm not enough. My mom doesn't believe that I'm enough. My brother never believed I was enough. Teachers never believed I was enough. So I had to rely on something else to believe that there would got to have been more. And I just cried and asked for more all the time. I wanted something better. I deeply know when I started doing the meditation and the prayer work and more practices that I could understand where the presence of God was for me,
mm-hmm,
and that meant so much more. And that developed a trust, Tish, that was so surreal that you had to practice this unshakable faith that
mm-hmm,
everything was going to be okay, that the men that were hurting you is going to go away. The problems with the cars are going to go away. Some things will change. Things will change. Things will change. And I might have taken, let's just say, it might have taken 20 years,
mm-hmm,
30 years in the
mm-hmm.
making for it to change, but it
Yep.
changed.
Absolutely.
It
So
didn't
that
get,
is
it wasn't suffering as bad anymore.
exactly. I'm so
My
glad you're here
God,
to
it
share
changed.
that. So,
It might have taken
Mr.
a long time, but keep your face. That's a great idea.
That is I was just getting ready to say that you are here to share that it's not immediate and it may take a
Mm-mm.
while
It might take a
and
long time.
it might take a long time. You are right. So, let me ask you this. What you're such an upbeat, positive being.
Yes.
And it's what about the people that don't know the Lord? What about
Oh, yeah.
what do you have to say? What do you do when you get down? Surely you had to have been down at
Well,
some point.
I've
What do
been
you
down a
do?
lot.
Mm-hmm.
I cry. I get
Mm-hmm.
angry. But then when you finally have to come up from that, all that, energy that is just so toxic and sad and angry and angst. It's
Mm-hmm.
angst. And you're not trusting. You have to pray. You have to journal. You have to trust. And you have to believe that something is going to be better and something is going to be great. You have to believe that somewhere, there are good people in the world and not everybody is a poopy pant or
Mm-hmm.
not everybody is mean and cruel. You have to believe. And you really do. And I also think that you have to really look for your tribes and your groups and your communities, whether you find it at a church, whether you find it at a community group, whether you find it at a brunch table. You have to find somewhere where even if one to three of those people, let's say there's a group of 100, but one to those three of those people know how to take your hand, there's going to be somebody you can trust. There's going to be somebody you can meet that's going to be able to say, you're going to be okay and you're going to be
Mm-hmm.
safe.
Amen. So you mentioned that you are a licensed massage therapist.
Yes.
You're also an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Tell us what all that you do besides being
Okay.
a licensed massage therapist.
So, let me tell you the story on how this all kind of came about.
Yes, please.
So, I've been dreaming for a long time to do a lot of different kinds of things. I mean, I've, when a long time ago, um, I was going to go into early childhood because I thought I was going to be a special ed teacher and I was going to save the little children.
Mhm.
Well, I don't like the ratios and all of that problem. There's a lot of problem in that arena. So I joined
Mhm.
AmeriCorps National Service, which really taught me about leadership and training. And I did leadership in high school because I actually did advocacy in high school. And I just said, I don't look like them. I don't act like them, but I'm going to be one of them. And I told a couple of my teachers, and I said, I'm getting involved in leadership whether they like it or not. I said, I'm going to do it. They're like, we want you to do it. They taught me how to do Shanae turns in hallways, and we were unconventional. It was wonderful. So I really had that fiery spirit in
Mhm.
high school, and I wanted to advocate, and I didn't even know the word advocate yet, but I wanted to advocate, and I advocated a lot for myself and different things. So um I got a sociology degree, and I did social services for a long time. So my first whole career after AmeriCorps, I did community relations for a nonprofit, Spinal Cord Injury Association, and I raised some money and some fundraising for them. And then I became what they called a disability program navigator, where we did a lot of resource coordination services, and then we also helped with job development, which was career counseling, the whole gamut, and a lot of that was for people with disabilities. So the advocacy, I was on commissions, I was on boards, I talked about national service, and then the pathway to employment with this being an AmeriCorps member. I did a lot of advocacy.
Mhm.
Moved to Massachusetts, got a job all in the disability field. Crappy employers, they were really miserable. And then I went to Voc Rehab and said, prayed and meditated, and all of a sudden I kept on hearing massage therapy, and I was like, yeah, right. And so I did it. Didn't think it was going to be the greatest thing, but then I learned that that's a great place for me to be able to move pain and feel things for others and support
Mhm.
them in a beautiful way. But after, and I was doing a little bit of disability work, and vocational rehabilitation would come up every once in a while, and every once in a while they would have me tell my story, but then things got deeper, and um I hit my head. When I hit my head, I heard the epiphany: you have to go back into the disability work, because patient advocacy in the hospitals were horrible,
Mhm.
not knowing why people were not represented anywhere. You're going to start a magazine, you're going to start some kind of a company where conversations are going to happen around disability. Okay. How? So uh a year and a half ago, I started the magazine, which was called Inspiring Disability. And then the other thing was called Embracing Disability. Now I had to call it Embracing Disability because people didn't like the word inspiring and disability. There's a whole thing about inspiration porn. So I became this magazine editor. What got hard around that whole piece was, like, how do you get these people to do these stories? Like, I'm going to work with schools and some day programs because I just think that would be much better. So
Mhm.
I'm recreating on how that's going to look. Then I met Elena, and she was talking about this thing, and I was like, what are you talking about, a TV show? And I said, well, anybody on there talk about disability? She goes, no. And I said, well, sold. I'm like, I don't know, God, where the money's going to come from, but let's do it. Sold. I'm doing this. So I have a TV show on Elena's platform and Tish's platform called Embracing What's Possible with Roxy. And guess what I talk about? Disability awareness and education. Now, here's the masterpiece that happened this year. This year's been a fascinating year with a lot of different things that, like, has just kind of transpired and, like, happened. And I
Mhm.
am intelligent. That's the whole thing. Learning disabled is like the wrong word. Like,
Mhm.
I think we should be called gifted with challenges, or
Yes.
challenge gifted, or, ability challenged. And, like, I think we such the wrong word.
Yes.
So it really is. And these words are so dirty and ugly, and society hates it. So
Yes.
society also doesn't, if you look things up, there are only 7 to 10% of people with a disability who have a talk show, who are even journalists. Like, where are they? There's none. If you look up stores specifically for disability, there's none. There's day programs, there's all sorts of things that families and services start. But where are the people with disabilities that are doing the things like I am? Not around. So just today, there was a magazine that just came out, and like all my colleagues are like, yeah, this is great. Congratulations. And I'm like, yeah, but you're missing the point. The magazine came out. It's a networking group. And I made a story about inclusion. We're making a difference here.
Mhm.
So, my whole mission in the company that I own is called Embracing Disability. And that's because I want us to embrace ourselves as human beings who are more capable than anyone could even imagine. And we
Absolutely.
need to know what these abilities are. And so, my voice, I want to wake everybody up and say, no, we got to talk about this. We got to talk about it. We got to make it happen. So, on November 1st, and I've been dreaming about this since I was a child, and I never told anybody that I wanted to do clothing and make a fashion line. Never told anybody. Meet this woman. She makes beautiful clothes for children. Gorgeous couture. God bless. Meet her at a networking thing. We are like, how are we going to do this? Yeah, nothing what is ever happening in that networking. I go out to dinner with a small group of people in this other little friendship group that we have. And we went to Silver Girl, this brand new restaurant. It's kind of a cheap little New Orleans-y kind of place.
Hmm.
And so we were at the soft opening, and next to us, the table next to us, had the family of this lady, Mega, and her mother, who I'll tell you about that story, and then her husband and her daughter. They were next to us. She goes, "Oh, I made the curtains and the aprons for the staff." I go, "What are you talking about? I didn't know you do that. You made beautiful clothes for children." She goes, "No, I do consulting." I go, "Well, I'm looking for a product." So we made these scarves that are just unbelievable. But the beautiful part of what our story is that her mom wants marginalized women from the villages in India to be working and to be
Hmm.
doing things. So they train them in the fashion industry. They train them how to sew, pick fabric. There's a whole team of marginalized women from India making my clothes. Okay, my clothes. My clothes. So I've had a secret that I've always wanted a fashion line. We started with scarves. We went out. I cried for almost 20 minutes. Couldn't believe that these scarves were there. And I said, okay, you got to tell me, can we make clothes with magnets? Can we make clothes with Velcro? Can we make clothes easier for people to get them on and off? Let's see what we can make. I give her $500. I've spent maybe under 3 grand. I need money more for it. But that's a whole other topic. I'm making clothes. I have a clothing line under Embracing Disability called Roxy's that only launched 4.5 months ago. The clothes was on the runway in an inclusive fashion show with real models, disabled models, and at a diversified thing. I had over 30 pieces. My show was 18 minutes long. I was freaking out. I've never freaked out so much in a back room, backstage, 6.5 hours backstage with models getting these clothes on, putting them on, styling them, doing things I've never done before. Talk about overstim. Talk about, talk about ability and disability all happening all at once. One of the disabled models was having a panic attack. All the rest of them are dancing around in clothes and blowing kisses and can't wait to get portraits done. The models looked gorgeous. They had runway photographers. My entire line has all been photographed by these runway photographers that look like some of my items should be in Vogue. I'm
Wow.
a fashion
Wow.
designer. I don't even know how that happened. It just happened. So I make clothing, I make accessible bags, I make bags. I talk about disability, but today my story about inclusion and how we should be more inclusive in our practices is
Mhm.
in a networking magazine from Women's Business League that I got became a part of a couple of months ago. So I'm out there really educating, teaching, talking about inclusive practices, disability general. Whether I have people with disabilities by my side in my day to day, not really. But my whole mission is we need to be talking about disability and doing things around it. And the clothing and the bags are now this sleight of hand that says, look what we can do. And now I have a clothing line called Roxy's that I don't know what's going to happen with, but but that's what's happening in my world.
Roxy, that is incredible. A fashion
It's my
show.
over. I like ending a year with a clothing line for ease of use is like the most magical thing in the world. Like more product just keeps showing up, and I'm like, okay, we can't make any more product. We have to figure out what we're doing.
Congratulations. Well done. My
Fashion show.
goodness. I mean,
Fashion show with real models and disabled models, inclusive runway photographs. I mean, we're talking top of the line photographers. I mean, I'm
it's
blown away. Just being in the
amazing.
fashion show with those photographs was worth every second of all that overwhelmed stimulation, stress, craziness. I've never seen anything like that before. Fashion shows are wild.
How proud you be it must be of yourself. I'm proud of you. This is
I'm so
incredible,
proud of myself.
Roxy. My gosh.
I'm so proud of myself that I
So,
actually have a clothing line and a magazine and a TV show.
I mean, so let me say this because I am ignorant in terms of
Yeah.
the clothing for people that have
Yes.
disabilities or might be. So, and you mentioned magnets or Velcro, and
Correct. Yes.
so what does all that mean? I guess why?
Okay, so if you're thinking about getting dressed, right? Like I'm wearing something with snaps right now.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was wearing buttons, buttons would be hard to. I'm just going to take a sip of something.
Of course.
So if a person has a disability, wear a wrap dress, or if I wear something with buttons,
Mm-hmm.
because of my dexterity, buttons are really hard. Even tying my shoes is really hard. Very capable, but I have dexterity issues. If you're in a wheelchair and you're trying to wear something, getting the pants on could be really difficult. So let's just say you take magnets, you open them, and the magnets will have easy on and easy off. Let's just say, so I made a dress with all magnets going down the entire dress. So let's say you just had surgery and you need to get in and out. Well, now you can open the whole thing and you can wear that in the house and sound more loungewear. Let's say you just had a mastectomy or you just are breastfeeding your child. Inclusive design is really important. You
Yes.
can take the Velcro all the way down, and now that dress is much easier. You can put it on over your head, and then you can just bring it back up, and then you can close it on both sides. So my main bag, I call it the structured garden. What I love about that, because I was telling her, I said, I want an open bag that if a mom is going to the bathroom with her special needs child and they need to do medicines, they need to do cleanup, they're wearing diapers, there's medical fragile, they can stick their hand in the bag, they can find things and they can look through it. Pockets for the medicines, pockets for little things that they might need.
Mm-hmm.
What if you need more wipes? What if you need more X? What if you all the
Yes.
things that you have to take care of when you have a baby and a toddler. Think about it when you have a special needs child that's never going to get you past that phase. You're going to need to
Mm,
carry things.
right.
So I'm thinking about inclusion in mind. Um, so magnets, Velcro, zippers, you can put pulls on zippers. One of the other young women that was in the show with me, she made a whole magnetic zipper that goes up and down.
Mm,
And there's a pulley on it that can pull up and it snaps right onto the jacket so you can pull it up with more ease. Because if you had a stroke, you had problems. We're trying to find what's more ease of use on the clothing. We're trying to find, I mean, I don't want to be inappropriate, but like this is a good dress. I didn't make this dress, but this is a good dress because it had snaps.
mm-hmm.
And so you can take it on and you can take it off. It's a lounge clothes, but you can take it on and off with ease. And that's what we're looking for. We've made flutter sleeves with magnets. So then the sleeve opens and it's easier to put the sleeve on and off.
Wow. And I saw some pictures and I should have downloaded and shared, but you guys have to go
Hmm.
and check Roxy's Facebook page out. All of her links are there. But I saw a picture of your clothing and some of the fashion show. I think it was on Elena's page, possibly, or one of
Yeah.
their page.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, not only, Roxy, are these clothes that you are designing and making, are they um, easy to put on and take off, but they're also very lovely
Oh,
to
they're
the eye.
gorgeous.
You know,
Yeah.
they don't have to be. I
No,
just,
they're
I think,
gorgeous.
yes, absolutely.
They're
And you've
being
also
made,
employed people.
yeah, they're being made in India. You know, the fabric is all cotton and crepe, good quality, and you should see the stitching on this stuff. My bags are so sturdy. My elephant bag just sold out. We're crossing our fingers that we're going to get more. But what I love about it is I can take my elephant bag to the store and I can put it on my shoulder and I can grab a few things while I'm at, go to TJ Maxx and buy some socks, buy maybe a dress or a top or a kimono or whatever, and throw it in that bag and not waste, have a recycled bag that's all cotton and gorgeous. They're Vera Bradley dupes. They're gorgeous. And
Mm.
but my brand is Roxy's, not Vera Bradley, even though I love Vera Bradley. So, but you can throw them in bags and you can take them around. The structured garden bag, I love that one because it's open. Like I can snap it, but then it's open. But the best seller I've had, I think I've sold like 15 to 18 of my elephant bags. And they're
Mm.
wide strap, they're all cotton, they're quilted. You can wash them. And but they've got that one has one pocket. My Roxy structured garden has three. We just got in getting them tomorrow, but we just got in Roxy's little what I'm calling them is lovely hearts, or I'll call them sacred heart bags.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made big makeup bags that have red gingham on them. And I can't wait to see the pockets. So, like, think about me as the adaptive director. And
Mm.
so, if you have a small business, you have an idea, and you're like, oh, well, I don't know how to make any of this inclusive. What do I do? You contact Embracing Disability, and that's what we're good at because
Very
we've
good.
known how to adapt, pivot, and accommodate our whole life.
Exactly.
That's our
Exactly.
whole life. We've been adapting, pivoting, and accommodating.
Absolutely. But
And I think that's the creativity and innovation that there's going to be a group of us that's going to be talking about inclusion, about adaptability. We want to talk to these fashion designers. We want to talk to them about inclusive design. But that's where these conversations can start coming in.
mhm,
You know,
absolutely.
and that's where the growth can come in. And I really do feel, Tish, that a lot of this is so much God's design
Mm,
that I'm being used as an instrument for voice. I'm being used as an instrument for creativity. I'm being
mhm.
used as an instrument to show up because there's a lot of people who are so scared, whether they have a disability or not. They are so scared. They would never want to even do a podcast like this.
Absolutely.
Scary. They
Yes,
think it's the most
absolutely.
scariest thing in the world. I'm like, give me a microphone.
Yeah. I absolutely love your enthusiasm,
Hmm.
your go get 'em attitude,
It's the
and
Lord.
it
It's
really
the Lord.
shines. The Lord really shines through
Like,
you.
this is the mission. Like, he made me quiet and shy because I had to be when I was young. But when I heard that I could have a voice, when I heard that I could make something happen or make some noise to make something happen, I went, tell me what to do. Then he hit my
Absolutely.
head and kept me alive and said, now you need to go and take care of your people.
Mm.
Now you have to go and take care of your people.
That's
No,
amazing.
that's
And
why
you
I was
are.
born. I was
Absolutely.
born disabled so I could make the voice because there's a lot of people out there, and the congratulations is nice, but you need to get the point. The point is they don't do anything for us, so we better do it. You
Absolutely.
less than 200 designers. Most of them are in the UK. So let's just say less than 100 to 150 that are in the United States. 7 to 10% that have 7 to 10% that have a TV show or a journalist. And let's not even get started on the representation on TV and film.
Let me ask you this, and I know we're getting close to
Yeah, we've got
an
to
hour,
end.
but um, how did your, or how does your disability now affect you? Does it, I mean, I know that you're in pain a lot, but does it hinder you from doing things that you want to do, or how does it bother you? How does it affect you
So
in your life?
here's what this is funny. Here's what bothers me. I'm going to go with the good and the bad. The
Okay.
good is that, I know how to walk with the pain and I had to know how to walk with the gait or the whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If I have the whatevers, I know how to treat myself because now I'm a practitioner and I can figure that out. And if I really need help, there are people I can count on. So that's one. It's the good news. When things get scrambled in my head, that still gets hard, but I can still deal with that. And it's not as bad as it used to be. And I don't feel the crippling as I used to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know I'm disabled, but I don't feel the crippling. What gets really hard is the hardest part. Like you said right before we started talking. You have a 24-year-old family member, excuse me, and they can't get a job.
Mm-hmm.
So the same problem lies within me. It takes a while for me to get hired, and sometimes people get a little scared because they don't understand maybe a quirky behavior, or they don't understand that I'm intuitive, or they don't understand something, and they leave my practice. So then it's the recycling of the money. How do I raise more capital? How do I get funding? How do I make resources? It's been a good year. I was very busy for a while in the
Mm-hmm.
spring. Like I was very busy and I was making good money, but how do I consistently make that money? But then when you're also trying to offer a service around something that people don't understand, respect, or even value,
Mm-hmm.
how do you bring in income? So it's the same story, and there's data and statistics to back it up. So in the coaching world, oh, let's mindset. Great. I can have all the mindset I want in the world. And I'm changing my mindset, and I've done a really great job.
Mm-hmm.
But how do I change societal norm when they do not want to interact because I say a dirty word? Because I talk about something that people are not comfortable with,
Mm-hmm.
people shy around all over the nation. And that is the most difficult part of this. It was difficult when I was trying to deal with it, wasn't getting people employed. It was difficult even trying to get a massage job a long time ago. It's always been that obstacle. And
Mm-hmm.
even in me having my own business and having a disability business, it's still hard. And so the mission is, and I keep talking to God about it, is how do we change that?
Yeah.
How do we make that, how do we flip that envelope, that whole thing, because it's a societal thing, not a mindset. And I want to know how to fix it, but I don't. I ask everybody where I go now, and then nobody's got an answer. Not
Man, I
even in the
wished I had an
disability world.
answer.
Even in the disability world, they don't have an answer. We could barely even get laws passed to get wheelchairs fixed. You have no idea. I could go on for hours how miserable it is and what the horrible fights are around trying to get things done around disability.
Oh man, as you're speaking about
Mhm.
all the things, I'm thinking, yeah, what can we do? What can we do? I
This,
mean,
what we're doing right now.
absolutely. And I was thinking the more people that tune in, and more people I know that I can say you need to speak to Roxy, so Roxy can share the message that the Lord has put her on this mission to
I'm on a
do.
mission.
Yes, and I see that, and you
And God
are
really wants me to do this work and use this, and I know I'm supposed to. And I feel like I'm even
absolutely.
being pulled out of the wellness to do this. But I'm like, okay, God, but then how am I going to get paid? Because I need to eat.
Exactly.
I need to be able to take care of myself. I can't be in the same position where I don't. The boyfriend works, he does help. But, the minimum that he's going to be able to give because he's got a basic job
Mhm.
isn't enough. I have to work hard and make that
Absolutely.
$120 an hour.
Nice.
Well, as a massage
Yes.
therapist, you can make up to, I mean, I need to be able to make that 120. I mean, as a person with a disability, holy crap. When I started
Mm,
learning that I could make that money, it was like, like, what else are you going to give me, God? Because you're going to have to give me big checks if I leave.
yes. Yes.
You know,
Well,
I know spirit has a plan and it'll work out. I don't know what that plan is, but it's going to work out.
it will. And I admire your, gosh, you're just such an inspirational woman and so positive. So let me ask you this. What kind of advice do you give? And I'm thinking of my niece.
Oh, I have a
Um,
few.
what's the advice that you give to someone who is literally the doors are closed and she's young,
Mhm.
closed, and then gets a job and then it's
Don't
let
give
go,
up.
let go.
Don't give ever up. And then go inside of yourself and start asking God to what your gifts are. What's your
Mm,
passion? Find it. You have something in you, and you are so more capable than you believe you are.
that's
There is
true.
so much capability inside of you that we just need to channel whatever that is and find it. And then we need to keep asking God, what is it that I'm supposed to be doing? God, who am I supposed to help? Who am I supposed to serve? What gifts did you give me that I can bring out into the world? Never, ever stop giving up, showing up, and believing that you have more to offer.
Mm,
Because if people didn't believe in me or tell me not to give up, I could have really stumbled.
mm-hmm.
I mean, they told me I was going to do nothing after that car accident. Don't worry, you're going to be more disabled than you were. Here's your walker. You'll be having that for the rest of your life. I'm like, good luck with that. But and the positivity really comes from that resilience and knowing that if I give up, what is going to happen to me? Then I'll have
Mm,
nothing. If I give up and I can't treat anyone and I'm so depressed and I can't support anyone and I'm so depressed, they're going to all know that and feel that. So why would I want to put that suffering, the suffering that I've gone through, why would I want to share that with anybody else?
mm.
It's painful.
It
Nobody else
is.
deserves that pain.
That is so true. And gosh, Roxy, you are definitely the chosen one. That God has chosen you, and it's a reminder to me of all the
Mm.
things that any of us go through, any of the struggles,
Yes.
addictions and
All of
recoveries,
it.
that we can speak on that because we've been through it.
All
And
of
the
it.
Lord, you are definitely one that the Lord has chosen, and you are so intelligent. You have such a great spirit about you, and look at
Creativity.
all the things that you're
The
doing.
creativity. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. That creativity is like so passionate and so amazing and wild. Like, what can I do now? What can I do now? Okay, I got to pull it back. Oh, but come on, God, I want to do it now. And the other thing about me is I still have that childlike wonder. I
Mm,
never gave it up. Even as bad as it was, all that I wanted to do was dance and play, dance and play. And then somebody said, no, you can be an entrepreneur and do things. And I'm like, what can you create? What can you do? What kind of and then I didn't know how to do content. So then I started learning how to do content on Facebook. And then I was like, ooh, what can you do? Like, it's so curious.
I
And
love
that's what I
that.
want people. I want people to become disability curious. So if you know
Mm,
nothing about it, anything could practically be, there's a lot of things that could be a disability, but be disability curious and ask questions. And if you feel like you can't do anything,
mm-hmm,
stop it. Trust me. I've been through hell and back, and I will tell you that spirit took me under its wings and said, "Here, take the angels on this one," and said, "She teach her how to figure it out."
mm,
And gave me gifts and gave me humans to help me figure it out. So I think humans are the angels are walking on earth, and we need to find who those humans are that can like embrace us and be with us. And then also keep asking God, what
mm.
am I? Who am I? What am I? Why am I here? What purpose do I have? Because you made me, then
That's right.
why am I here? find it out.
Amen. Amen. Okay, one final question that I ask
Mm,
everybody, and we're
okay.
wrapping up. First and foremost, before I ask you this question, I have to thank you for
Mm.
coming on, for saying yes to coming on. What a blessing you are, my new friend. There was something about you that the Lord started, like, I was noticing and like, okay, there's something about, and I have chills now as I say that because it was the Lord. It was the Lord, Roxy. You are such a beautiful woman and intelligent, and I could cry myself
I
because the
love
Lord
God
just,
so much. I love God so much, and I feel more blessed than I've ever been.
mm, well, you're blessing others. I am truly blessed
Yes.
by you, and I
Yes.
thank God for you. And thank you for coming on and saying yes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so let me ask you this, my final question that I
Mm-hmm.
ask everybody. So, Roxy, after everything from your birth to your childhood, to the abuse, to the
Mm-hmm.
trauma, to the ridicule, lifetime of ridicule
Mm-hmm.
as a young child, as
An
a
adult.
elementary
Yeah.
and high
Mm-hmm.
school, middle school,
Adulthood.
adulthood, yes. After all of that, and where you are today, all that you have done, a massage therapist, you are a designer, you're a podcaster, you have your own podcast and television show, and your own magazine, your own company,
Mm-hmm.
and had your first fashion show.
Mm-hmm.
After everything, I want
Mm-hmm.
you to encompass and think of everything that you have been through. Who, Roxy? Who are you? Who is Roxy today? Who are you today after all of that?
Um, I'm big heart. I just I a hug knows no disability. I'm big heart. I
Mm,
want to hold your hand. I want to give you a hug. I want to touch you in some way, whether it's physical or internal or spirit wise. I'm big heart.
mm,
And there's so many times that it's on my sleeve, being behind stage at that fashion show and like taking those deep breaths and just watching something that you thought about, you created, you had ideas, and then watching it come to life and seeing the diversity, the inclusion, the smiles on the disabled models, and some of them looking like they should have been in Vogue magazines.
mm,
Knowing that you made a magazine and then people's lives were changed, knowing that you have a TV show and someday that somebody's going to be touched by that. I just want people's lives to be different. Whether they heard my word, maybe they heard another story from somebody else. I want people's lives to be different because we
mm.
deserve more. And we, as humans that have gone through suffering, we deserve to be heard.
Absolutely. And I'll tell you what I see. I see a woman who is changing not just lives, but changing the world,
I want to.
inspiring others to want to partner with you in answering that question that you mentioned earlier, that we keep searching for the answer. How are we going to change this? How are we going to change this? Well, you're inspiring people to speak on it and to join you and to lock arms so that we together, myself included, what can we do? And my mind races and I think, gosh, what can we do? We can partner together. And
Collaborations.
absolutely. And you are the voice and the chosen one. And boy, are you doing a hell of a job, Roxy. You are. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much for your yes. Not just yes to coming onto the podcast, but your yes to God's calling. You're a beautiful woman. Thank you so much for being you. Have a good night. We'll see you next time. Bye.
This is your Prospera era, where dreams align with grace, abundance flows like rivers. You've stepped into your place. Rise, reign, and remember, you were born to shine. Welcome
hope you enjoyed today's show on Prospera TV network. Make it a point to visit us on YouTube and catch all your favorite shows anytime you want. Interested in hosting a show of your own? Or advertising your business on our network? Contact Elena Rodriguez.